Jarvis.
That's a strong start.
This is a strong. Does your business have a Jarvis that can do everything you needed to do? And should you have a Jarvis to do all these things?
And with that, on that note, brings us back to another episode of BizMeds. We're your hosts and neuroscience business coaches. My name is Saad.
And my name is Darius. And we're here to give you the minimum effective dose today on can you scale your business with Jarvis?
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. Like,
Okay.
What is it? What is a Jarvis? So for anybody that has been around and seen the Iron Man movies, this came out in 2008, and the concept of having a assistant like that was unheard of or unthought of. We live in that world now. Granted, we don't have something like constantly in our ears listening to everything that we're asking it to do. Or do we?
I mean, have you seen some of those, like some of the advanced warfighting AI, like heads up displays and things like that? Like,
yeah. We are kind of there.
We are kind of there.
Yeah.
Right.
And the more you think about that, like the more it gets you think about like what else we could potentially do. So that was mentally, at least for me, that was like the pinnacle of the AI space, and like having an assistant like that at your kind of fingertips.
Yeah.
But now that we are living in AI, there's that big fear looming over everyone's head. It's like, holy shit, like AI is going to replace me. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. And I recently rewatched Iron Man. And the one thing I noticed that remains true across all three movies, Jarvis never did anything itself. It brought everything to Tony.
Mm. So
the thing that like really, we were talking about this a little bit right before the podcast, is like that Chitauri spaceship that enters the atmosphere. Tony doesn't know what the hell is going on.
Yep.
But Jarvis like immediately prompts him, like, hey, something has just entered our atmosphere, right?
Yep.
So Tony would have spent some time prompting it to let it know that, hey, keep an eye out on the atmosphere. If anything enters, just notify me.
Yeah. Here's some conditions.
Yeah, these are the conditions.
Here's the condition in which I need to be notified.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Across all these things.
Exactly. And it again, Jarvis being as smart as it wasn't able to identify what entered the atmosphere. Like it could have been an asteroid, it could have been a spaceship, it could have been something, but like was able to identify something for him. Yeah. So that meant he got to make the decision and come up with the next steps of what it needs to be. Like he could still prompt Jarvis to go do what it needs to do.
Yes.
Like, for example, if it's an asteroid, Jarvis, shoot a missile at it, like take it out. Right? So
but giving a command.
Right? He's still the human in the loop.
Yes. We're seeing more and more, like in the past, I don't even know how long it's been, but you know, if you've spent any time listening to kind of like what's been going on, and you have these AIs like OpenClaw or whatever the heck it is, right? That basically you're giving full access to everything on your computer and can do things on your behalf, which can become very, very problematic.
Absolutely.
Right? So anytime you're just kind of giving over full control, I'm like, oh, that's probably not a good idea.
Absolutely.
Because then you can be, you know, your AI, that thing could be manipulated. It can inadvertently do something you're not supposed to do. It doesn't know anything, right? It's not like it has any type of it doesn't have Tony there to be like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have the conditions to be like, oh, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Which is link that to, let's say, Claude, where you have connectors and you can connect it to your browser.
Yeah.
And it can do things, right? It can log into certain things and it can start to view things. And you can set up conditions to say, you can always do this, or you always have to ask for this. And if you just give it full permission, well, I mean, like, that's probably not a good idea.
No. And that's my biggest qualm about like this whole new AI space is people just blindly are trusting it. They're just like, hey, because the thing is like, it's now a time race, right? if it previously took you a week to do it, now you can do it in a day.
Yeah.
But in that day, it still requires you to be involved or whatever and give it approval.
Yeah.
People are getting lazy, and
What?
that's what I would attribute it to. Is like people are just getting fucking lazy. They just want AI to just do it all for them.
Yeah. They're sold. I think it's actually really what just made me think of is people are sold on this idea, I can just do it all for you.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, I guess there's some element of truth to that.
Yeah.
It can do these things, but what are the risks and costs associated with that? Like, what are you giving up for it to do this thing?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you can go and it can create all this thing for you, but what are you giving up?
Exactly.
And I think we're always at the forefront of you still have to be in the loop and approving and understanding what is being done. Mm-hmm. And instead of just blindly trusting that this AI or whatever it is that's creating is doing a perfect job right off the bat. Because if you spent any time working with an AI, you'll know that they take the lazy way out a lot of times.
100%. Yeah. It's always about the easy way out. Yeah. So going back to like Claude and like the integrations and whatever, you can have dispatch on your phone now, right? So if you have your computer open all the time, I've heard of a lot of stories recently where people are using it to make day trades and stuff. Mm-hmm. And some people are making a lot of money. But when you hear that and you've never done it before and you give it all control and whatever, it just takes somebody that has even, a little bit more knowledge than you to get access to that and then hack the crap out of you.
Yeah. Again, like we talked about it, we're going to continue to talk about this. Like the risk is not having enough context or understanding what's going on versus blindly giving up full control to something and not being like, if you think about even how smart, I know it's fictional, Tony Stark, character is and the genius he is, still had Jarvis come back to him and be like, hey, this is happening. I have a condition that I need you you told me to warn you about. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Even when
parameters,
here's the parameters. Like
this is what you work with then,
Exactly right. There's got to be that control loop back in to verify and approve things and not just blindly, go do the thing.
Yeah.
People get lazy. They think it's, and I think a lot of this I will attribute to fucking social media and all of this, like, what is it? It's basically just like, I said productivity porn, but it's not even that. It's like worse than that.
Yeah.
Right. It's basically like, life is just so easy now. Like you can just push a button and I'll be done for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you don't really understand the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
Whereas you're willing to trade potentially all of your private protected information. Like you could potentially be giving up so much for this thing that just does it so fast and they can do it all for you.
Yeah.
But you don't understand any of the back end risks associated with it.
Yeah.
And just blindly trusting that this is, and I have 20 agents working for me 24/7.
Yeah.
And you have no idea the time and energy it takes to build those out, to make sure you have proper controls in place. Right? That you actually have some fundamental knowledge of the back end of that and the risk to make sure those properly controlled, because that doesn't sell nearly as well online as some idiot saying, I reduced my marketing costs by $27,000 a month and I have 5 agents that work 24/7 for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you've missed out on a whole other part of this thing, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That you actually have a lot of technical expertise. You actually know about marketing, and that you have specific conditions set up along the way and probably have approvals in those to make sure that it operates and it doesn't just, blow through $1 million that you don't have.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you decide to get in the race. I built this agent to do something. Well, that agent consumes tokens. And suddenly this agent gets, and it starts running. And suddenly you wake up in the morning and you owe $15,000, which you don't have.
Yeah. Which you don't have. Exactly.
Right. Because you were sold this thing that, this AI is going to make it. This agent can do all these things for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's costs associated to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is so it kind of brings me back to a little bit of our previous week's podcast on vibe coding.
Yes.
Because touch back on like Tony, he was like the perfect vibe coder. He vibe coded the new element that he used, right?
Yeah.
So he was just trying around a bunch of things, and he's like, "Hey, let's try this. Let's put this together." He still had to do the thinking, right?
Yeah.
Like, and built a new element or whatever.
Yeah.
But to your point, like the thing they don't show is how much computage it actually uses. Tony's a billionaire, trillionaire, whatever, right? Like he can pay for those things. For a bit of a smaller business that's trying to accomplish this, to your point, like the more you use it, the more vague the prompts are, the more tokens get used, the more cost it scale the more cost it incurs, and
or it could, because you don't know enough. You know enough to be dangerous, and how dangerous that is could actually cost you much more than you think.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so this is it's such an interesting time to be a part of this, because I liken this to this stage of like AI. I feel is like very similar to when computers first came into businesses and things like that, right? And it's like there's a whole shift of what you could actually do now, right? And so you spent less time in people doing manual things, and now you're able to have computers do things, right? Yeah. And now you have AI and these companions that can help you now compute faster and do things much faster. But it's like there's a whole other set of risks with that, right? Like in the early days, like some of those computers could be very easily manipulated with, code and things like that. And there was no controls around that. And so, if you had someone go in and you had no idea what you were doing, well, you could hack those computers very easily back in the day, right? Yeah. Now it's okay. Well, now you have to worry about prompt engineering and, can someone on the outside inadvertently talk to my AI or my agent, whatever, and get it to divulge things that it's not supposed to, that's supposed to be protected. If you don't have any idea of that, what the safeguards are, or that's possible, I mean, you live in the world of, I don't know what I don't know, but I can vibe code and I can do these things. And you've not lived any of the,
the risks
of like, I need to make sure this is actually really buttoned down and good, and I'm solving the right problem, and it's actually a usable, scalable solution.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, would it be nice to have a cool Jarvis that did those things? Sure. I mean, maybe we'll get there. It feels like the speed at which we're moving in the technology space is kind of getting us there. Yeah. But again, the risk and associated costs with that is like, what are you giving up for that? Yeah, so just because it might be quote unquote convenient, should you still do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So where do you want to go from here?
Well, I mean, I think the takeaway for the episode is like, be more Tony, be less dependent on Jarvis.
Yeah. I mean, because that's a really good point is, because Tony being as smart he is, made sure there were still safeguards in the use of such a powerful AI like Jarvis, right? Yeah. And we have very comparable, I would say AI strength nowadays that can do all these things. They're not as integrated as Jarvis was, but the takeaway is you still need safeguards and approvals along the way to make sure that your stuff is protected, right? And you're not just giving you like, surrender, take everything, right? And there you go. It's AI is going to do everything for me. Yeah. Well, you're going to get what you deserve.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's not going to be pretty.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to end on.
Closing thoughts?
No. Well, I mean, so I just remembered something funny. So those Waymos?
Yes.
So there's a recent video that I saw, like, again, they're really, really great if you've been in one. Yeah. But there's still some flaws. So this video that I saw is like the traffic lights and everything were out. Yeah. And it was trying to go into oncoming traffic, and it doesn't account for a human trying to like direct traffic. Yeah. So there's a police officer trying to direct traffic, and this Waymo is constantly like inching in further and further onto oncoming traffic. And the person is trying to jump out of the car because the car constantly keeps going in further and further. And Yeah, it's just funny because, like, again, uh, can AI get there eventually? Maybe.
Yeah.
But, like in that situation like that, perfect case would be like it calls up an operator and the operator can kind of look through what's actually happening
Yeah.
through the cameras and then take over the vehicle and,
Yeah.
drive it around a little bit and then give it back to AI. So,
Yeah. I mean, again, what an interesting time to be alive.
Yeah,
right?
I know,
Like this
right? Just
is
seeing
you're like,
these
oh,
things,
we're
it's like-
just we have these driverless cars, but here's what a problem to be solving.
Exactly.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
but again, very real risks, and
Mhm.
and what are you giving up to have that, right?
Yeah.
And where what is enough?
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, with that, everyone, we want to thank you for joining us on this episode of BizMeds. We're your neuroscience business coaches and scaling specialists. My name is Darius.
And I'm Saad.
And we are here to give you the minimum effective dose today. And again, as we are trying to help you scale your business and stay true to the AIM framework, automate where we can, reduce operational drag, help you scale because you can focus on the more important things of, the insight and mastery, which is going to drive the growth of that business. And stop doing repetitive things that aren't helping you and trying to hire people to solve those problems that are just not being solved.
Yeah.
So with that, we just say thank you for joining us. To our moms, as always, first and foremost, we love you. Thank you so much. And remember, you're just one day away from the life you've always dreamed about. Get out there, scale your business, and remember, automate it best you can. Okay, we'll see you in the next episode.